Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. This topic, what to do when you and your spouse disagree on everything, gives me an opportunity to really teach you more about marriage than about just this topic. If you're already a subscriber, you know we touch on things that no one else does because our approach is very different. I used to be a divorce mediator before I did this, and I had to reinvent marriage because frankly the world of psychotherapy doesn't get marriage at all. And you're going to get a little more knowledge about marriage. You're going to start understanding what is possible, because not agreeing on things is a symptom of not being connected at the level of the heart, of the soul, your soulmates. And you're supposed to have this amazing connection, which translates into a relationship filled with harmony, filled with love, filled with joy. Now, where have you ever heard that before? We're not taught these things growing up. I certainly wasn't, and I know you weren't either. Along with that, we weren't taught with something that is really vital, which is controlling our mind. Not just what we say, not just repressing how we feel or stuffing it, as they say. No, not that that doesn't work, by the way, but we are supposed to be in charge of our mind. You see, we are souls. This is not religious. We just happen to be souls, or you could call yourself consciousness if you prefer, but you have a mind. Your mind doesn't have you. You don't have a soul. You're the soul who has a mind. And this is a huge difference, because when you own the mind, just like owning a computer, you know what your computer can do, what it can't do, and you don't let it run you. You don't let it make you do things just because something pops up, right? Something pops up. It says, click here because your computer is in big trouble, and if you don't contact us, you're going to lose all your data. We know that that's a spam. We know. And we don't react in a way that gets us into even more trouble. Your mind produces spam all the time. Why does it do that? It's another story, but in a nutshell, because your body, which is intelligent, but it doesn't think, of course, your body is constantly telling your mind, be careful, watch out. You see, your body is comprised of what? Of 1 trillion or more cells. Every single one of those cells is living, which means it's driven by self-preservation. They get together, think of a plant. They all get together and they want to survive collectively. And so they're telling your mind everything is dangerous. Everything. And so things that you normally wouldn't really think of as dangerous if you thought it through, if you saw it in a movie or read it in a book, you wouldn't think it was dangerous. If your wife or your husband is saying something, but your mind reacts right away in a form of disagreement, it's because of fear. It's a primal reaction. It's instinctive. And so until you start to control the mind, until you start to master your mind, you're a victim of it. It's bouncing you around like a ping pong ball in a can. You don't know which way is up. And because you're so close to your spouse, to your soulmate, and you have this expectation of an intimate relationship, it all comes out. When what should be happening is you should be controlling your mind, becoming a good listener. You see, most people say, oh, just become a good listener. No, in order to be a good listener, you have to control your mind. You have to stop it from reacting. And then you can listen. when you stop your mind from right away jumping in and giving your 2 cents, which is at odds with your spouse's 2 cents. But both of them are just 2 cents. So I could be cute here and say, if you put your 2 and 2 together, you're going to have a nickel. But it's not, I don't want to play with you. I want you to really get the benefit of your marriage. You see, the idea of marriage, it's not a man's idea or a woman's idea. It didn't just somewhat evolve out of when men used to keep women and then someone fell in love and pretty soon, it's not like that. Those people who think that are crazy. Marriage is the most marvelous gift given to us human beings by God. This is no hidden thing, because God's always got an agenda. God's primary agenda, I think I can speak for God in this regard, is for you, his child, to be filled with his joy, his love. They're the only real joy and love that exists. We're not talking about increased like as love. We're not talking about the happiness that comes from getting something unexpected. That doesn't last. That's fleeting. We're talking about the real deal. And you have experienced those. Those are the real you. That is the soul's awareness, the awareness of yourself as a soul. And in marriage, think about it. It's the only venue where you can truly open up, because it's to your soulmate. It's a protected space. You can say what you want, do what you want, theoretically. And we think of that right away as we could dump all our crap on them. But that isn't what it's for. We're there in our marriage to learn how to love unconditionally. If you're a subscriber already, and you should be if you're not, you already know that we talk about this a lot, about achieving the goals, the purposes for marriage, which are happiness in the form of joy, ever expanding, ever increasing, and love, ever expanding. And guess what? Those two, in their true form, have no limitation. So when you learn how to be married, it just gets better and better and better. And not coincidentally, the better you become at controlling your mind, at mastering your mind, the more happiness and joy you will feel in your marriage and in life. So that's what it's all about. Marriage is misunderstood by everyone else. Marriage is amazing, truly amazing. The people who take our courses, we get notes all the time. I can't believe I've just been using the So a few days and this really works. It's like they're surprised. But it's mathematical. Our process is mathematical. It's scientific. Of course it works. It's cause and effect. Everything in the universe is mechanical in nature, including our marriages. But you got to learn the mechanics for it to work for you. So what do you do when you and your spouse disagree on everything? Well, the first thing is just to stop disagreeing. You don't tell your spouse, hey, from now on, let's just stop. No, you do it yourself. You can only control yourself. So just do it yourself. When there's a disagreement, catch yourself and right away just stop. Don't react. Don't respond. Let it sit. You don't have to be in disagreement out loud. You could still be in disagreement, and then you could think about it and think, is this that important that I want to lose the harmony that we should be enjoying? Lose the love, hiding the love behind the resentment, behind the fears? No. So just stop. That you do. That's mechanical. That's outward. But inwardly, talk to your mind and say, mind, are you crazy? You're going to disrupt love, peace, harmony for this? Is it so important? It isn't. I could promise you that it isn't. You know, occasionally we will get an email from someone who just started the course and they're so excited, and because they could see it's going to work. I mean, there's nothing about it that says anything other than it's going to work. And just recently we got an email from someone who said, you know, it's working, things are better, but what about my emotions? What do I do? They're popping up because my husband blah blah blah. And because it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little time to get used to the idea. Emotions, by the way, are just a software program in the mind. It takes a little time to get used to the idea that you're supposed to manage your mind. Not just manage it, but absolutely master it. It's part of having an amazing marriage. So hopefully you're getting something from this. Hopefully you're a subscriber. If not, you can now like this video. And if you're interested in becoming a TMF counselor, we're going to soon have a TMF marriage counselor training. We don't do other things. We don't do psychotherapy, and we don't do PTSD stuff and child rearing and all that. We don't do that. We're strictly about marriage. And trust me, there's plenty of demand. So thank you for visiting. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. I really appreciate your coming by, and I hope we'll see you again. God bless you. Thank you, and take care.